Yeah, we lived in the year 3000.
No.
Not much to change. Oh, we lived underwater. Underwater.
Yeah, that's cool.
We just walked out of Underwater. What's the date?
The
15th.
18th.
It's January 18th, 2020.
20. Yeah.
We just walked out of Underwater.
Starring
It's a good way to start the year.
Kristin Stewart.
Jesus.
Well, technically, it's not the first movie.
Kristen Stewart. Who's
we've
the other
seen
guy?
this year.
T.J. Miller. I don't know what the captain's. I don't know the actor who played the captain.
Oh yeah.
I've seen him before and
What's
stuff.
he in?
I don't know.
He's a villain in something. Oh, he was the villain in Black Swan. He was the bad
Yeah,
guy.
no, he was the ballet director. He was
Yeah.
not a bad guy.
Oh, I didn't finish it. That was one of the only movies I walked out of, is Black Swan.
Are you
Wow.
serious?
Yeah. It was my last day with my girlfriend in town, and we just left.
It had good things in it. Anyway,
This is horrible. All right, so what's
should we
our
do
review?
like a
Okay, yeah, we'll
initial
do spoilers
rating?
later. So we'll do initial rating now.
Okay, and then we'll get into
I'd say
it.
it's below a 5.
Oh yeah.
By the way, it's terrible. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
an
not
awful
good.
movie.
That's not good.
You liked the beginning.
I enjoyed it. I like their Well, should we wait?
bad.
Should we wait for that part?
So what's the rating?
Yeah. What do we?
Scale
rate?
is 0 to 10?
Yeah. I was thinking like a 3.5.
I was thinking 3 or 4. I was thinking 3 or
Yeah.
4. Yeah.
I give it 4 or 5. I at least walked out. I was scared. I had to check in with my breathing.
are
It
better.
scared me.
5s are better.
5s are better.
Kristen Stewart was good.
Yeah,
I liked
a
her
little,
face.
yeah, she got a good
She was
face.
believable. The dialogue was really rough though.
Oh,
As
the
soon as we
dialogue
saw her
was
in the underwear, I
trash.
was like, and she got in the suit, I was like, she's getting back in that underwear eventually.
Yeah.
She got back in it twice.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I knew that was coming. Okay. So I think we can spoil it from here on out.
Okay.
So
Well,
3
yeah.
to 4.
I hope if someone's watching
Yeah.
this, they've
You've
already
already seen
watched
the
it.
movie.
Yeah, it's terrible. Don't
Bad
go see
dialogue.
it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Special effects were okay. It
yeah,
just kind of looks
honestly,
like a
it was
video
like
game.
it was like a really good-looking video game cinematic.
Yeah.
Just, way too long. I might
Really
spend
long.
2 minutes on
Terrible
YouTube,
dialogues.
but
Yeah, if that was a short, I feel like I've said this about a lot of movies recently, but if it was a short, it would have been really good.
yeah. I just the whole thing. Seen
Yeah.
that movie before. I guess not underwater themed with Kristen Stewart, but I just was like, I remember thinking like, could you guess the whole movie? But there wasn't even a lot to guess. It's like they're gonna get killed off one by one, and she like laid out the map at the beginning. She was like, okay, we got to get here. I was like, so that's it. They're just gonna die until they try and get there.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be any interesting themes or? And it wasn't. It was just.
No, I think if you're gonna do a movie like that, you have to either have really amazing characters, which they obviously didn't.
Their characters were so flat.
They're really bad. T.J. Miller wasn't even that funny.
No,
he was
he had
supposed
one
to be funny.
joke that actually hit for me.
Yeah.
Well, it just
and he
felt
also
out
made
of
another
place.
joke that
Yeah.
you guys felt was really out of place, but I had spaced out, so I missed what it was. But I don't know what it was, but you both were
He
like,
had
ugh.
It just, and other people's reactions to him didn't make any sense. Like, the world, it didn't. Just everyone, the way
Yeah,
everyone talked
yeah,
to
they
each other
just
didn't
not
make any
organic.
It was
sense.
a survival
Yeah.
movie they were like, we got the comic relief, and it
Yeah,
just
it didn't work.
fit. They were like trying to make a movie.
The other route they could have gone is just like beautiful cinematics, like Gravity.
Yeah.
Because arguably Gravity didn't have great characters either.
Yeah, but
at least it
yeah.
was beautiful.
I was thinking about Gravity
you know?
during this, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why people give it so much shit, because that is just master cinema. The
Yeah,
pacing in this
really.
is just so dull. There's
Yeah.
no breath to be like, to actually feel the fear or like the thrill is actually happening.
they
the sound
tried.
and music just kind of continues, and
They tried. They had the character be like, "This is our fault." Like they had those moments where they paused. They had Kristen Stewart gearing up at the end to like get all
I
ready
mean
and
like
stuff.
when we saw Ford versus Ferrari, the sound impact that had.
Yeah.
Like you got underwater stations, whatever, it's blowing up in this, and it just doesn't feel intense at all because
Right.
the sound just kind of continues. It's all
You're
professional.
right.
I even leaned to you and was like, the sound sounds pretty cool. Like they were doing these thumps, and then it would sprinkle to the surround sound, and I was like, that's kind of neat. Sounds underwater. Obviously, it's a professional product, but
Yeah.
I just don't feel. There's no feeling of actual claustrophobia that we're underwater. There was no. They did the long take at the beginning to show
That
you
was
how
fun.
deep you were, but I was tuned out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just it wasn't like I don't know. I was told pretty quickly that this is cheesy and doesn't matter.
They let us know with the opening voiceover that it was gonna be a bad movie. If they hadn't done that, whatever her getting ready, her saving the spider, would have been so much more interesting without the voiceover of like, I'm an intense person.
She had already started the voiceover?
Yeah, well, she was
I wish
saving
I
the
could know
spider.
before going into a movie, like, if it had the beginning voiceover
Yeah, I
or
would
not,
just say I don't
because
want to
that's just such a deal breaker for me.
No.
To have beginning voiceover. I can't stand it.
Is there ever...
Honestly, this
American
isn't even
Beauty had voiceover.
Yeah,
I like
some of them
that.
pull up. Fight Club is a great movie.
Yeah.
And some of them really pull it off. When they pull it off, it's great. But when they're bad and they're doing voiceover, I don't know,
Just
number one rule of
bad
filmmaking, like
writers.
show, don't tell, all of it's just thrown out the window, and it's just, ugh. This isn't even like a really fun movie to review because it wasn't like it fell short in so many ways where it could have been. It's just an action cinematic.
Mediocre, yeah.
And the visual effects were better than like the last Terminator.
That's true.
What was the last Terminator? Dark of Fate? Dark Fate?
Zero Dark 30.
No.
No.
No. It was
I don't
Dark
know.
something.
Dark
Terminator
Sky.
Darker.
Darkness.
Darken.
Into the darkness. That's the...
The visual effects were
Soundtrack.
better than that.
Yeah, there was something really bad about
That Terminator.
that Terminator. At
Yeah, I could
least-
see masking in that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, my friends do this.
Yeah.
But this at least was like, I don't know. When it was moving through the water, I was just like, this doesn't feel intense, and I don't give a crap about these characters.
Yeah.
But at least it's like, ooh, pretty.
Yeah, I don't think I understand the use of slow motion in this movie.
Yeah, every time
Yeah.
there's an explosion and Kristen Stewart would be...
No.
It was weird. You got one.
Well, I don't understand what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just-
understand
it's just
so
cool.
much.
It's
It was
a
just
cool
like
action.
underwater, but it was space, but underwater. And they had
Yeah.
explosions sometimes.
A lot of explosions.
It faded to black a couple times too, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
It just would have been better if it felt continuous.
Yeah,
You
just
know?
right at the beginning with Kristen Stewart and the other guy just being like, I don't know. They're just people on a set pretending like this is happening. I didn't feel like it was a real thing happening. Very, very early, I was just told. That this
Really?
wasn't- Yeah, you didn't?
No, I
Even
was...
before like she closed the thing, like when they're, oh my god, and right immediately their first bit of like what's our intense thing, and it's them watching the other two characters run at them, being
Yeah.
like, you gotta close it, they're not gonna make it. And I was like, really? Like, did you write this down? Like, oh, and then the people are gonna be running, and then they're not gonna make it in time. It's just like,
Yeah, in
you
the
know,
script,
been
that
done.
looks bad.
I just like it was like one of their first bits. I was like, this is the could have gone somewhere else. It's like underwater, like crashing.
I
in.
did feel like it could have gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I liked the beginning of they had a bunch of those low shots of them running around the corners and like sliding and
I
getting
liked that it was different. Like I like that it was something I didn't feel like I've seen this every time.
Yeah.
I did like that, but it wasn't like really good.
up. Really? I thought it was
It was
fun.
kinda
It
silly.
just didn't feel super intentional. Like
Yeah.
it was like we're gonna be close because it's cool, and then we're gonna zoom out because it's cool. And it didn't feel like it added to like the intensity
it,
at all.
It wasn't
or that it was-
complimenting story.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was just
It was
like
the only time they did it. So yeah, I guess with
Well,
intentionality
they
it
did
wasn't
it-
there.
They did weird close-ups other times. Like there was a part where he was like drawing on the map, and it went up on his pencil, and it was just super close, and then it zoomed to the next
I
part,
remember
and
that.
like just weird little close-ups like
I
that
remember
too.
that,
Yeah, they just felt.
I
like,
remember thinking.
chaotic.
I remember thinking it was more fun though than something like Hunger Games. This wasn't as flat as something like Hunger Games, filming wise.
Filming wise, yeah.
You know, like the lighting was really pretty.
The lighting
some pretty
was
ass
pretty.
lighting, some pretty people,
Yeah.
some pretty sound.
Yeah,
You
the Hunger
know?
Games, the first one made it like really boring and ugly to watch, which is weird because the story was like way better than something like this. You know, it's more interesting.
Yeah,
than
the
this.
color was dull. I just remember
Yeah.
Hunger Games. It was like
Oh,
they
and the
shot in
shaky
S-Log and
cam.
didn't correct. Yeah, the shaky
Oh.
cam.
It was rough.
I don't know.
This
yeah.
one, yeah.
This
the-
wasn't like that.
it
This
wasn't
was
like
like a
that. It
really
was just
professional
weird.
product
Uh-huh.
in visual effects, sound, and set. Honestly, there's some pricey sets as soon
Yeah?
as they opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the Alien ripoff was really lame.
With
It
the
got,
Yeah.
it got really. Not only I didn't. That thing scared me coming out of the person
Yeah.
because
I
I
was
was
just
like, they're not
waiting.
gonna do the Alien ripoff. It's gonna be like swimming around them.
Yeah,
But then it
but
just
then it
came out,
did.
and I was like, okay. And then they threw it on the table and they picked up its tentacle, and I'm like, come on, this is the
Yeah.
xenomorph. Like,
Yeah.
And even at the beginning, the hallways, like the panning, I just remember thinking Alien did it better. Like immediately,
Yeah.
it was like 1970s. They were doing this better.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kristen Stewart's character wasn't super great or interesting. Like,
I didn't care about her fiance disappearing.
no, the exposition was really weird because, like,
Yeah, it was.
they
forced.
let you know it. Yeah, one, it was forced, and two, they let you know at like the end of the movie that like these are people you might want to care about, and it's like, well, why should I care? I don't know. It was just like
Yeah.
they were like, oh wait, we have to make these characters like likable so that people care when we kill them, and it was like I
Yeah.
still don't care.
Yeah. I remember. I think the first really bad one was when Comedic Relief was talking to the other guy, and he was like, "Don't let her go," or
Yeah.
something like that. What did he say?
Don't mess this one up or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
like-
before they went under the little passage thing.
Yeah, they're
Before TJ Miller.
Yeah, it was like
in
it
an
wa-
underground stage, like what?
She's
how
really
many
cool.
miles? And
don't
yeah,
know.
and they started doing like, "Oh, you're gonna mess up this relationship," and I was like, "You're drowning. Like, come on.
Yeah.
This isn't." And the thing is, I want those moments to come in the movies. They in 1917, we can't talk about too much. Jake hasn't seen it, but like when those moments come, it doesn't feel, you know.
Like when
Yeah.
they touch on cliches.
Yeah, or like when Gravity did, that was another complaint a lot of people had about Gravity, and I get that one. When it happened in Gravity, it was cheesy.
It was really cheesy.
It wasn't. That was like a good movie with those really cheesy things. This was just kind of like
A
a low tier
cheesy
movie anyway.
Yeah.
But I want those moments to come in movies, but they need to feel. They don't need to feel out of nowhere, or they can't feel out of nowhere. They're forced. They come from like a genuine place, and this was
Yeah.
just so like it wasn't the place to be saying things like that, and the movie had already lost me, kind of from the first 5 minutes.
I think the believability of the actors and the dialogue was really off because I was thinking about Cloverfield. It was similar to this one,
yeah.
also starring T.J. Miller.
But Cloverfield's
But
way better.
It was, and remember like when it's Rob, right, the main guy,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
when he's flipping out because like the girl's gone, or like when the brother dies, like. I bought that
Yeah.
way more than I bought anything in this. Like,
Yeah.
I it's not because like
Yeah, I did
the
not
dialogue
believe-
was amazing in it in Cloverfield. It's just it wasn't forced. It was simple, and like I liked the actors. They were good, and they didn't like sit on bad stuff for too long. And even I can't remember the actor's name, but she's Janice from
Oh yeah.
Mean Girls.
I can't. What? Janice from?
Isn't it Janice from Mean
Oh
Girls?
yeah,
That's
it
the
was.
girl.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I thought you meant Janice.
The one
from
that
The Good
T.J.
Place.
Miller likes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield?
She
Yep.
Yeah. I liked her dialogue too, though. Like she
Uh-huh.
was like mad and angry, and she was
Didn't
an
wanna be
interesting
at the
character.
party.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
didn't want
yeah.
to be at the party.
That's a good point. Like
Right.
Cloverfield, some things were fake and cheesy, but all of that was so much better. The believability
Yeah.
of performance to help the world just be a real thing happening, even if it
Uh-huh.
wasn't all like A-list movie.
Right.
This was nowhere close to that. None of it I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And it arguably it had better special effects and visuals
yeah,
than
yeah.
Cloverfield.
And
which
that
was
all
really simple.
starts from the script.
Yeah.
And it was downhill from when Kristen Stewart voiced over something about feelings in water. And it's just like, I don't know.
You can't tell night and day is dark. You're just
Is that what she
asleep
said?
or dreaming, and sometimes
Yeah,
you can't
she's
tell the
like-
difference.
Oh my
you can't tell if
God.
you're awake or dreaming.
Dreaming.
What,
Which
okay, what was the
wasn't even relevant to
At
like,
all.
what the
No, it
movie
wasn't.
was.
What was the action versus think or the act don't think?
Oh.
Like sometimes you can't feel, you
You
just,
just
have to
do.
God, she voiced over that.
Yeah. While
at the-
she was like doing the ending.
Blow
one-
up scene. Blow
Yeah.
up the save the people scene.
Yeah. Oh my
That
God.
came out of
The
nowhere, too.
I know, the graphic that she was like, she can perfectly kill the aliens, but not the people. It just like showed the arc. I was like, this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then the monster could see. He was like, oh no, she's gonna blow it up.
Tries to run away.
It's so stupid. God.
I don't know.
So what was with the annoying girls seeing the painting of like the gods?
Okay, that's what I didn't understand. I was like, did they build this mine or like drill in an underwater cave where there was already paintings of like
No, I think
No, that was
they,
in the space station.
They tried to
know.
put in a bunch of.
It's a space station.
No,
it is.
it's a space station.
No,
I know it was. It's just like it didn't make any sense. Like,
No,
why
they
would
had-
they have put that in there?
They had a bunch of tiny hints to like, oh, they're drilling. This is a company drilling. But then, when they were at the abandoned, okay, the captain was like, when they were trying to figure out what path to take. They're like, why don't we go to the abandoned thing? And he's like, we can't go there. And they just ended that. And then she got there. And then when they opened up the captain's locker and saw the pictures of the young captain, there was a drawing of the alien.
Oh, there was?
Yeah. It was just for
I
a
tuned
second.
all that out. So
Yeah.
so the
So
captain
they-
knew about the aliens.
I think so.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of flashing like writing in the intro scene.
So was the captain trying to get them to the alien then? Because if he knew about the alien, okay,
No.
not the alien, but the monster.
Yeah. No,
he
was
knew
trying to
that
get
it
them
was
away.
at that drill. No, he wanted to go to that drill, the one that she went to at the end.
Is that where she wound up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
The
drill
right,
that
did she wind up at the right one or the other one?
No,
Because honestly, I was so
she
tuned
went
out.
to the wrong one.
She ended
to
up at the
get
wrong one with the
her-
captain.
Is that with the yellow lights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she had her like in the bathroom scene.
Oh yeah, fetal position.
Yeah.
That's where she ended up, and then she saw the information. But then she went to that one anyway, the one that he wanted to go to. So yeah, I don't understand.
When movies are so uninteresting and dull,
And they try to be.
and they start doing lore, I just tune out.
Yeah.
Like, Rise of Skywalker, the whole time where they're like, oh, well, when they start explaining detail, I'm like, dude, you lost me at Palpatine's back. Like, I don't care about the fact that this artifact means that whatever. So
Oh right, the whole
I-
thing with the knife and everything.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Oh my God.
Oh, like trying to. Oh, I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
I think we spent like an hour outside of here. talking
Yeah,
about Rise
just shitting.
Rise
on
about
it.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
Rise about
Rise about Skywalker.
With a comma.
This was better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
If we don't say that for every movie this year,
Oh, I don't know. There's no Zombieland 2 then.
yeah, you're right. Zombieland 2 was worse. Okay.
I think we didn't totally cover.
This
Music was okay sometimes.
I had fun with the music sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the beginning, I was into it.
I was
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
into that intro, like,
Yeah. With-
montage or whatever
Uh-huh.
of the text and the moving around. But then when they did it at the end, it was really terrible.
Yeah.
Really cheesy.
Yeah, like,
Because they used it for exposition. Don't use
Uh-huh.
it for exposition.
oh my God, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
that was so
that's
dumb.
awful. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Um,
It's cheating and bad.
Yeah, the organ was kind of fun. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I've never heard like an organ underwater like this, you know?
Uh-huh.
I wish it mattered.
Yeah.
Would have been really cool.
It would have
What
been
was I
really
gonna say
cool.
that?
Can you imagine if like you actually cared about her getting the couple out? That could have been really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact
But by
the
then
fact that
you-
there's no, I always say this about fucking movies. The fact that there's no gravity on the ground, like there's no like real consequences when you have that many visual effects. Or something like, I'm just gonna use the same example I always do. Something like Mad Max, where like when they're jumping from vehicle to vehicle, like they could fall off the vehicle and there's a consequence to that.
Yeah.
In this, like when the alien picked her up and thrashed her, I was like, the writers are just gonna do whatever they want because there's no consequence. Like if this were a character to be picked off, his mask would break and he's done because the writers wrote that.
Yeah.
So like the whole time wherever she walks, I was like, it just doesn't matter because whatever the writers need to happen next is what happens. I don't feel like there's any consequences to like what
Yeah.
people are doing. They will survive if they want them to.
Dude, yeah, she got like.
She got
fucked up
eaten by a
twi-
monster. The thing like thrashed her around.
The
and
captain blew up not that far away from her as the one monster was taking him up. He like unlatched,
Taking him
blew
down.
up.
Yeah.
I thought they were
taking him
going
down.
up. Oh.
When?
No,
When it came down? Yeah, it was going
No,
up.
it was up because
It
she
was up.
sunk down.
But the pressure was increasing.
The pressure was changing.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought.
Oh, I thought it
D- honestly, doesn't matter
Yeah.
either
whichever
way.
direction. I guess
Yeah.
that's
No.
probably what they wanted to do in the movie. That like direction doesn't matter. You know, like up and down doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That could have been cool.
This movie didn't have any bad moments as like other movies. Remember that bad Halloween movie we saw last year with the Gilmore, the Toro, whatever, producing it?
What?
The
Oh
stories
my
we
God,
read at
Scary
night.
Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes.
Guillermo del Toro.
You remember how there were like a lot of bad things in that movie, but there
Yeah.
were also things we'd never seen that were good.
Yeah.
This didn't have either or. It was a little more. It was a little more flat.
It was more
So I
flat.
wasn't like, oh, it's just the worst movie the whole time. But I also nothing went like, hey, I've never seen that before. You know,
Yeah.
like, a little bit the music. I was like, it's kind of fun. And that was
Yeah.
like the best thing I got out of it.
was-
It was like, I dig the music, and Kristen Stewart's hot, and like
Yeah.
that's like it, you know. But in
Yeah,
that
God.
movie, you know, that had more like, ooh, that's just like, why
That
would you
was
put that in?
really
This is so
bad.
stupid. And then it was like,
It was
whoa,
also
that
like,
was kind of
whoa,
cool.
that
I've never
was
seen
really
this
cool.
before. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, I would say this had this like mild
I'm thinking about that.
mild aspect to it. I think I would see something like that
Over.
Again.
A movie that I thought was bad.
Oh yeah, I have
that
no
had
desire
something
to see
to
this
it.
one again.
Yeah.
Not like why
I would at least
you?
watch some scenes from that one.
Yeah, I would watch some scenes from that one, but this is
There's
like
some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I was almost ready to take a nap the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was so silly that
Oh,
everyone
like
had to be in their underwear, and then he had a fucking rabbit strapped to his
Yeah.
chest. Like, why they can't wear clothes, but he can fit a rabbit in there with
Yeah.
them? It's not gonna fit in. That's what she said. Your pants
Uh-huh.
aren't gonna fit in the
In
suit.
their Mass Effect
In the
suits.
massive
or, What'd you
suits.
say?
She said-
Starcraft?
StarCraft,
StarCraft.
yeah.
She was like, your pants aren't gonna fit. You have
Take
to
'em
be in
off.
your underwear.
Oh.
And then he had a rabbit strapped to his
Yeah.
chest.
So dumb.
Ugh.
That was kind of the thing. I was like, I don't know. There's something there. Like, okay, I thought the Space Marine aspect was hilarious and silly, but I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Like, I guess like Space Marine going down into the underwater with monsters is like what I'm thinking. Like, what direction could you go that it would be good?
I can see why they made the
if it
movie.
wasn't all out comedy, which I don't
Yeah.
think it has to be, but it definitely can't be like super serious if they're in
Yeah.
Space Marine outfits.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like there's something there where it's like, this isn't like completely off track of like trying to make a movie.
Of
You know,
something that's feasibly
it's
good.
cheesy. Yeah,
You can
Yes.
you can say that about like anything though. Like think like
not
Lady,
last year. We saw a lot of things that were just like, why?
Like what? Oh, like Toy Story 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like they're well,
Yeah,
Toy Story
like-
4 has a lot of different things wrong with it, but.
But like why would
Um,
you make this? Like
yeah,
with Toy
I
Story
just
4
didn't get. I just
specifically,
didn't get
the
a huge
characters were
feeling of
done
like,
with
why did you make this? But just like,
it. Yeah.
uh,
Why didn't you do it better?
why didn't you do it better?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, because like some of my favorite movies are like Lady Bird. Like, why did they make Lady Bird? You know, like it's just a coming of age story that's been done before, kind of. But they did it in a really cool, unique way.
Yeah, I guess you could say that about any movie.
Yeah, like why
uh,
this one? Why this character? I don't know. It could be fun.
Maybe
And-
even from like a franchisable.
Yeah, this was very.
standpoint.
This was very product of the times, wasn't it?
I think
StarCraft,
maybe.
Mass Effect, like, just After Effects underwater.
I guess.
You know, it's just kind of. It's like when I saw the portal balls in Jurassic World, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Didn't
like,
he reference 20,000 Leagues
Yeah.
Under the Sea too?
Yeah.
It was like they're trying to
One of the
revive-
first.
Trying to be a little meta.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think a lot of effort was put in by people trying to like make films. I think it was a business decision. They were
That's
like,
what it
it's a
feels
huge
like.
budget,
Uh-huh.
big
Go
stars,
have fun.
everybody had fun, and
Hopefully.
they're probably not a failure. They're probably a success. I haven't looked at the box office, but I'm sure it's doing well. And I just don't think anybody had nobody had like a true vision behind it of like why this movie is going to be.
Money
can
was
tell
just
us
thrown
the
at a
be-
vague
the-
idea.
We love the movies
Yeah.
that tell us more about who we are and make us think about who we are. And this had
Yeah.
no even like attempt in that. Even the lines themselves with her voiceover were like, we're not trying here. This is just a movie.
God, okay. So the reason I laughed when the dialogue or when the text thing came
Popped
up in the
up.
bottom right, because like when the movie first started, they
Yes.
had like the bottom right. This
Oh,
is what this is,
I didn't read that. I didn't see it.
and then they didn't have it for a really long time until like halfway through the movie when they were going into that tunnel. And I was like, why did we need to know this is a tunnel? Like, it had it again. It was like, this is a tunnel. And I was like, what the? And
Yeah,
so then
no.
when it came up the other time, I was like, oh, they're just doing this again. And it didn't make any sense. So that's why I
Hope's
laughed.
talking
but-
about the text at the bottom right of the
Yeah.
screen.
Like a spy
the scene
movie,
labeling.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The that was so funny because it's out of genre. They're doing like the thriller where they say like, oh, now we're here, like the lame exposition, but then they included this like
on the screen too.
spy movie, like sci-fi like description of
It's
where
like
they
if
are once they get there.
In Cloverfield, they had Central Park, New York.
The whole thing was like they were we were in the moment. It was a thriller.
I feel like someone. I feel like they like had people watch the movie and they were like, "What'd you think of it?" And they were like, "I was fine. I just don't know where they are half the time." And then they're like, "I guess we'll just put in little things that say where we are."
You know what? That's so a thing that producers or like after audience reviews, like later they do, like after test screenings.
Like that's what it
it's
felt
too confusing as to where they are.
And a lot of it is like in the dark.
Genre.
A lot of it's like in the dark, underwater. So then it was probably like a.
Yeah, it all looks the same.
Yeah.
There's
no real difference in any location.
Yeah.
I guess that was by default though, like you're underwater deep. So, I don't think it was. It had the. There's no way they could have done it.
It's just that's.
But there's no way they could have done it and have it not be cheesy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were just out of genre elements that were. Honestly, it's not a very good project.
Yeah.
No.
And like I said, the biggest things with these movies are like, I just know that they're gonna write whatever happens next.
Yeah.
There's no consequences. There's no character decisions that really influence the story. Every time they were underwater, I was just like, yeah, I mean, I like started to tune out. Like it was more interesting when they just had crappy dialogue in the hallway. Because when they're underwater, I was like, yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, where is it? Oh, where is it? Must not be here. Ah, where'd he go? And then we're gonna be at the next spot, and there's gonna be one less person, and that was like just exactly the whole thing every time.
Yeah, that's what I think horror movies in general are doing poorly too. Like they're just jump scares. There wasn't anything. There wasn't any sense of like true. Fear.
Yeah.
It was way cooler. I really wish we hadn't seen the trailers because trailers ruin everything. But I really wish we hadn't seen the trailers because hearing them was cool. And then when they were doing just the Slenderman thing and like around, I was like, that's cool.
Seems cool.
Like,
and then it would have tied in with the whole like you don't know when you're awake or asleep and like actually have like relative context to that dialogue.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. And that could have been fun, like them going crazy. Am I just hearing this? Is this just what's happening?
Yeah.
Or is this just like surroundings and not an actual entity?
Oh yeah, that's a way more
That
interesting
could have been
movie.
fun.
That would have been more interesting.
That's a way more interesting
Yeah,
movie
the fact that
than
we
her
saw
being in
the
the
big
ocean and
monster.
it going. Like, not as scary as it being out there and just like.
I thought that when we first saw it. Actually, I was like, "Oh, they showed us the thing.
Yeah,
I know what it is."
God,
and then
dude,
it was a bigger one.
Glowing eyes in the dark is so much scarier than like monster in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever the monster's finally there, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I am now. The unknown is erased. I've seen what I'm afraid of, and then I can react from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the thing first exploded and they were on like the floor or whatever, they were going into the first thing before they rode on the little cart, which is really funny. Like,
I felt like they were almost wanting to have a little ride for it at Disneyland or something.
Which part?
When
they sat
in
on the thing
tunnel
and they rode the thing down the tunnel.
before the underwater, before
they sat
TJ.
on like a little tram.
Yeah.
Like rode it through the tunnel.
Did
You
it
don't
go-
remember
The
that?
one that went under.
No.
Not the elevator.
After that, they made it in.
They ran while the
Before
thing was
TJ
exploding,
Miller
the
died.
rubble was falling. And then they rode it, and then they had to get off because it couldn't go underwater.
And that's when they found the moon pies. They never brought the moon pies
Yeah,
back.
they never
When they
ate
got in
off
and
the
found the
moon
moon
pies.
pie. I don't remember. I must have seen
Wow.
that. Sorry.
Anyway,
Wait,
they
you were
rode
saying?
on a little tram. Before that part, the part where they're running to that and
Okay, it cut us off, but we're gonna wrap this up anyway.
yeah.
That was Underwater.
Yep. 2020.
And like 3 or 4 out of 10.
yeah.
I had fun. We're gonna be doing more of this.
Yep. This is our favorite theater.
Hopefully.
Brought to you by Reading
Reading
Cinema.
No, it's not. Don't say that. They don't know where.
Well, I mean, it's in the video, so they're gonna. I mean, we're
They're
gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Nobody's gonna like. People care about my damn YouTube channel. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll find out.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Logging out.